Hey everybody! I hope you guys have been amazing. I have been in this whirlwind of energy over the last few months. As you can see, I'm no longer living in Canada. I moved to Costa Rica in October, and it's completely changed the vibration of how I do life. Potency of energy, pathways been heightened and literally honed in on, and I'm just grateful to jump back into YouTube to serve you guys as a collective of energy. So there's a bunch of stuff dropping in that I just want to give you energy updates on right now, and at the time where we are in an energetic field of expansion. If you guys see sweat dripping from my face, it's because it's freaking hot in here and I don't have the air on because I'm choosing to continue to allow my body to integrate in this beautiful Costa Rican weather and such a different change of life, right? So I want to give you guys some energy updates. I also want to tell you a little bit near the end of the video what you can expect coming from this channel moving forward and how I desire to serve you moving into the future. And while not really just me desiring, but like what's been dropping in spiritually for me to serve the collective of energy in, such a cool thing. And when I keep looking up, it's because I keep hearing channeling, and my potency of being able to channel, especially with the shadow work that I've been currently doing within myself, is so potent these days that they're talking to me all the freaking time, which is amazing, and I'm grateful for all of it. But in case you're like, why does she keep looking up? That's because I'm listening to what is being said. So let's talk about energy updates and what's happening right now in the collective energetic world. So we are at this pivotal point right now of truth. And what that means for us is our truth within ourselves and the truth in the collective of energy. So we're going to start to see dismantling of infrastructures that are no longer aligned in truth. And we've started to see it trickle over the last year for sure. A couple years ago, people were starting to state this in the world, but a lot of people weren't understanding or taking note of it or owning it as their truth. And now we're at a pivotal time where all the pieces are starting to come together. Now that's happening in the outward world, but it's also happening inside of you. So if you really were to step in and look within yourself and really get honest within yourself, you're going to start to see that certain things that used to serve you 2 years ago, 3 years ago, can no longer happen. So I used to love to drink wine. Love wine, and I love the experience of wine, and maybe through the years I will still endeavor in wine here and there, but I cannot physically even drink it anymore. I can't. My body goes, sorry, and it comes right out. So I cannot hold that container. So my truth and vibrancy can no longer hold that, let's say, toxicity in my body. Now, some of you are not at that place and you don't have to own that, but that is my truth. So I'm speaking it out into the world right now and saying that vibrationally. But for me, it kept me literally living in a diminished light every single time I took a drink of alcohol. And then it diminished me, and my capabilities were still really strong. My pathway is really big. My activation energy is huge that I could transmute that pretty quickly. But it's no longer needed to be transmuted because it's no longer an option. So it came quickly out. My physical form cannot handle it any longer, and I'm honoring that process, right? I'm honoring it. So that is one truth for me that's happened over the last while that's been integrated. Now, for some of you, this is going to be relational. This is going to be in how you parent your kids. This is going to be in the things that you watch on TV, the music you listen to, the books you read. This is going to show up in the way you show up in your careers, what you're driven from the heart, what's important to you, your values. So this energy moving through right now is literally collapsing the density within us to see the purity of our light. And the human, us as humans, need to do the work as well to move it through. So it's not like it's just going to be like, here, it's the universe, we're blowing it up and you're good to go. We now need to take that and start to make aligned action to move it through, to start listening to our intuition, to start taking action in the pathway that fuels our heart, to have courageous conversations when things aren't aligned anymore, to step into boundaries and be bold in our movements and hold ourselves accountable to the level of life we desire. And this goes against a lot of the things we've been taught. Don't speak your voice. Don't own who you really are. What will other people think? You know, all of this shit that we've been programmed to think about, feel about, be about in life has kept us conditioned in these boxes that we are now exploding the boxes, and we're here in this raw vulnerability to be able to serve. So that's the thing showing up inside of us. So a couple things to note in this new energy levels. What are you hearing? Meaning, are you getting whispers and drop-ins of certain things that you desire? Or have you been getting the same visions and thoughts? Are you walking down the street and you keep hearing, you should start this, or you should leave that, or that doesn't fit anymore, or those are the messages you need to start paying attention to. Because when we start to move the energy around, and we start to embody this and take action in it, magical things happen. And I say this all the time, and until you step in, you do not know what I'm talking about. And when you step in, you know what I'm talking about, and you go, fuck girl, I know what you're talking about. And it's an amazing transition of energy, but you've got to start to lean into your truth. What is your voice desiring to speak in the world? Who have you been diminishing around because they can't handle your light? You know, in that space of that truth is that purity of you, the purity of your soul, the purity of your expansion, the purity of your pathway on earth. And it's time now in this new level of energy to own it, to be it, to create in it, to own the potency of it, to own the power of it, to step in to this space and collectively make the shift in your life. And from that, we're going to see it. And I want you to be in awareness of the infrastructures collapsing, the things coming out, the cover-ups that are happening in the world, the people trying to diminish others, the control they're trying to bring through into the world. And you're going to see it more and more and more. But the main objective right now is finding your truth. Who are you? Who are you in your power? Who are you in a state when you are completely in alignment? What do you desire in your life? What changes for you? You know, like I moved to Costa Rica in October, and it's been a crazy ordeal of change. And I'm all in for change. Like I can move with it as long as not my whole life is changing. And although some would say, well, Costa Rica is a huge change, and it was, but my business stayed consistent. It wasn't like things blew up there. I was single coming here, so it's not like I had relational changes. You know, there were some things in my personal life, like my animals and my nephew and all that stuff moving through that I had to come to grips with or deal with or own. But it's the small things that really started to change. You know, what was really important to me. You know, there's a lot of things we can't get here in Costa Rica. There's a lot of things that shift, like small things, like we don't flush toilet paper here, and it's only 1-ply toilet paper. And, you know, the things that you thought were important back when you lived in Canada became minute, right? Became things that were just a privilege almost. And you got back into this heartbeat of the purity of yourself. And from being here, it's allowed me to now expand into this next level of connection, like nature. Like you can see, these are all trees. This is in the background, right? These are all trees in my yard. I have tons of trees and grass here. I have stray dogs coming by and stray cats coming by. I have iguanas that walk the pathways, butterflies, moths, birds, lots of spiders, you know, so many cool animals. Grasshopper I met the other day, like just really cool insects, animals, reptiles that live and breathe within the earth here. And I realized I was in a different dimension when, and I say this with love, like I do not want any animals to die in my world. And I don't want anyone to perish. I want everyone to be in their collective. But one day a bird hit this window and like I think broke their neck. And I picked it up, I tried to help it, and it was just done. So I blessed the bird and I brought it back to a place on the earth and released the bird back to the earth. The next day I came by to check on the bird just to see if it was still there. And I believe it was the ants that created a mount of dirt around the bird. The only thing you could see was the tail to bring it back down into the earth to regenerate it. And it was an amazing process that I got to witness. Something that I had never even noticed before about this connection of cycle within. This connection of cycle in the world that is brought forth. And it became apparent that I thought I was present in my life, but I wasn't ever present in my life the way I am present in my life now. And when I get out of being present in my life, an iguana will walk down the driveway and remind me, because one of their like animal totem, animal vibrations is being present, will remind me again of that. But the connection we have to the earth, to the ground, I walk around in barefoot almost all the time. And I get that is not available for some of you that live in countries that have snow certain times of year. I get that. But where in your life can you get reconnected to the earth, to nature, to that process? Through that, I feel my Aboriginal roots starting to come forth, the Métis native energy coming back through me. And when I channeled this month a circle called like with the white buffalo woman, it was apparent that my connection back to the earth and my connection back to this divinity of energy and that native root was so potent within me, that my shaman that I'm working within in my shadow work, which will be another video I'll create this week to share some of that, is like, it's just this crazy experience of connection. And she heard me playing the drum she lent me, which was a white buffalo drum, happenstance, which we obviously know it's not a coincidence, that she just perchance had this non-initiated, she hadn't initiated this drum she had made because she was told that at the time it wasn't hers at the time to initiate it. And she heard me doing a chant in the opening ceremony for the circle with the drum, and she said, "This is your drum. And you are meant to bring White Buffalo Woman back to the earth." And inside of me, I knew that, but I didn't know that until I got present enough in my life and I took away all the other distractions and I stepped in fully into my world and I started to embrace the whisper that kept calling me, the truth inside of me forward. So now you're going to start to see on my channel some collective of energy with chanting and expansion in a specific energy. So I'm going to be channeling White Buffalo Woman with the drum and chanting to move energy. So whatever I feel is happening in the collective that I serve in the world, I'll tap in, create a sequence to move us through whatever that is, and I will keep uploading them on here to serve your energetic field. So if you're feeling lack of clarity today and that's what's dropping in, and I do a chant and a drumming session for that, you can lean in at any time and go through that. And you're going to start to see more and more of my channeling abilities with different deities, goddesses, entities, ascended masters come through, because they are active in our world right now. They are desiring the golden age to come back. They are helping move it through. And they all say, if they are back on earth like they are right now in the collective that we're being able to channel, it's time to usher in that golden age. It's time to bring back the mystery schools. It's time to own it, and not in the secrecies that they've been available for the finite few down in the temples, into the earth, wherever they've been doing this. It is a collective energy moving through the world. This level of expansion is moving rapidly. Activation is coming up. Amplification, acceleration, embodiment, expansion. All these words are dominantly moving through our field right now for us to step in, for us to embody, for us to embark on, for us to own this space. So out of anything today that I'm saying to you, I want you to feel that inside of you. I want you to feel that energy moving in you. I want you to feel this expansion available for you. And I desire with all of my heart for you to take the necessary steps to make it move into you, for you to become it, for you to be it. And I'm going to walk you through stuff as we keep moving through these YouTube videos over the next few weeks on how to do that. And I'll give you tips. And guys, if you are not following me on IG, I lead in the center of heart always there. From my stories to the posts that I post, breaking apart the narrative of us having to conform and be in the boxes that humanity has put us in. So I'll throw the link in the show notes if you desire to follow me on Instagram. But I'm creating a movement of light warriors. And not in a way that they weren't moving before, but in a way of gathering a collective of energy together and honing in on their leadership within the light worker, light warrior collective, and helping them accelerate that light. and amplify it and activate it and own it in the mechanism that they're supposed to. And if you're drawn to that, reach out to me. I'm about to start a movement starting next week, February 20th of 2023, wherever you watch this video, on my Instagram page. And I'll create a highlight on it so that if you're feeling this today, go into there and feel out the conversations I'm having next week. Feel out, the diversity of information coming through. Feel out the mechanism of the heartbeat of what's being created through this community of light warriors stepping into the earth for truth of all, for connection back into the roots of where our divinity lies, and bringing back that truth of possibility back into the world. So I just wanted to give you a brief energy update today, talk about a couple things that are dropping in, throw in some potency so you can feel that heartbeat within you. And I'm just wishing you so much connection of love, light, and truth within your body today, within your aura, and feeling it in your heart right here. Because our hearts beat as one, as a collective of energy. Whether you believe that or not, that is truth. One energy, one mission, one pulse. I love you, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye for now.